This is Win News.
Tonight, suspended Police Commissioner Jack Johnston says he'll be back. The federal government's emergency heritage listing of the Tarkine. And police take to the streets in a nationwide booze blitz. Good evening, I'm John Remus. Suspended Police Commissioner Jack Johnston says he'll be back after the High Court in Melbourne dismissed a bid to reignite charges of disclosing official secrets. The top cop determined to get back on the job as soon as possible.
After more than a year cooling his heels, there's no doubt in Jack Johnston's mind that it won't be long before he's back in his role as the state's top cop.
I will be back. I am the Commissioner of Police. I hold that office. And I hold that office until March of 2011. While
charges of disclosing official secrets are now behind him, there are still code of conduct complaints that need to be cleared.
I was, in my view anyway, justifiably a bit grumpy after being investigated and interrogated by police officers for something where, in my view, I'd done nothing wrong. And maybe I made a few observations that were inappropriate at the time to those people, but I'm sure those matters will be worked through.
The Premier was in Sydney talking up the national broadband network today. It will be up to him to give Mr Johnston the green light. David Bartlett promising he'll take advice on where to from here.
There was no way that we could pursue those complaints while there was the High Court matter hanging over us.
It's important that in this case due process is followed, and it's important that the police force has a lot of certainty moving forward.
Ultimately, what any government of the day needs to focus on is a stable, well-functioning police force, and that should be at the forefront of Mr Bartlett's mind as he wrestles with the dilemma that he himself has created.
For the man who's been filling Mr Johnston's shoes, it remains business as usual.
I'm prepared to work as the position that I'm required to, and at the moment I'm required as the Acting Commissioner, and we will continue to provide the best policing service we possibly can.
In a statement released today, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Tim Ellis, confirmed there would be no further appeals. Sonia Pascoe, Win News.
In a win for environmentalists, the Tarkine Wilderness area in Tasmania's far northwest has received emergency national heritage listing. But the controversial proposal for a road in the area is still under consideration.
A nomination for emergency listing was made by the Tarkine National Coalition last month. It says it's incredibly pleased with the decision.
We congratulate the Minister on taking the position that he has on it. This gives a new level of protection to the Tarkine, which the area surely needs.
What this is about is acknowledging that the Tarkine may have really important national values. It's the largest tract of cool temperate rainforest.
Mr Garrett says the Tarkine's inclusion in the National Heritage List doesn't prevent the state government's road being built in the area. What it does mean is that the heritage values of the region must be formally considered, along with other environmental impacts. Others have different ideas about where this leaves the road.
The road ought to be dead, and I think the Bartlett government will probably be breathing a sigh of relief that it's not going to waste $23 million on a road like this to facilitate logging, amongst other things.
I think it's a nail in the coffin, if you like, of that divisive road proposal.
While the Liberals don't want the road, they're not sure national heritage listing is a good idea either.
We need to ensure that forestry and mining operations now and into the future are not compromised. We need to get that certainty.
The government is optimistic developments like the proposed road will go ahead.
There is a vast tracts of that area will not be touched and will not be accessible, but a small part of it will be accessible, and that's something that all of us can share.
The Australian Heritage Council will decide on a final boundary for the heritage listed area. Penny Younger, Win News.
The government has been accused of looking after big business with its new land tax policy. The Liberals claiming nearly 90% of Tasmanian properties will not receive any relief.
Businesses are already talking about the new investment opportunities that could now be on the horizon, claiming more Tasmanian jobs will be secure because of the government's new land tax policy.
The previous burden of land tax is something that made these investment decisions more and more of a challenge for us because the holding cost was becoming increasingly difficult to sustain.
Ultimately, what we want to see is jobs growth out of this land tax package. That's what we need in this state.
The Liberals have continued their attack, saying the changes are targeted at the wealthy in central business districts and provide little support to small and medium-sized business.
That is largely in big business that are investing in the state right now, and we want to see that investment grow.
Successful big businesses will help small business.
The Greens saying the government should have raised the lower thresholds of the package.
Many tenants are doing it very tough. They are living under rental stress at the moment, and the government's missed an opportunity to make tenants' life easier.
The government claims it has other packages to help low-income earners, and the new policy will ensure those Tasmanians don't lose their jobs. Eleanor Midgley, Win News.
An elderly man has died after his car crashed into a concrete wall in Newtown this morning. The blue Hyundai Getz was heading north on Park Street but failed to turn into Risdon Road at a T-junction. The man was taken to the Royal Hobart Hospital where he died several hours later. Police don't believe speed, drugs or alcohol were involved. The man's death takes the road toll to 60. Police are seeking witnesses to the crash, which happened at 10:45 this morning. A teenager was airlifted to the Launceston General Hospital this afternoon with possible spinal injuries after falling down a cliff face. 3 boys aged between 15 and 17 were abseiling at Duck Reach, where it's believed a rope failed. 2 of the boys fell between 7 to 10 metres. The second boy suffered leg injuries and was also taken to hospital. Tasmania Police is about to begin its biggest ever crackdown on drunken thugs. Over 200 officers are preparing to take on troublemakers as part of a national blitz on alcohol-related violence. But Operation Unite has its critics, who say it's a military style of policing that will actually incite violence.
It could be the calm before the storm. While Tasmania's revellers begin wetting their lips on Friday night drinks, 200 police officers are gearing up for their own big night, Operation Unite. It's hoped the blitz on drunken violence being conducted around Australia and New Zealand will go a long way in curbing alcohol-related aggression.
The main message is for those people who want to drink and get drunk and become violent in our streets, we're going to be there to be able to deal with the situation.
But lawyers fear the heavy police presence will create, rather than prevent, tense situations.
It's been a very aggressive stance. The imagery the police have used has been extremely aggressive and have declared war for a weekend.
As well as violent drunks, police are clamping down on hoons, literally. 330 steering wheel clamps will be distributed to the state's police to enforce new laws that came into effect at midnight. One offender had his steering wheel locked within an hour.
The warning's been out there. If people choose to ignore the warning, then police will act, and they will act with a big yellow clamp on your steering wheel.
Police say it's unlikely offenders will be warned.
If you're doing 45 kilometres an hour above the speed limit, there's no room for caution in relation to that.
Car confiscation periods have been extended from 7 to 28 days. Alison Ribbon, Win News.
A unit in Devonport has been destroyed by fire overnight. 2 fire crews responded to a call shortly after midnight to find the unit in George Street fully engulfed in flames. Its occupants had left the building.
We had to evacuate the adjoining unit, which had 1 single occupant in there. And as we can see behind us, the building was pretty much destroyed by fire here, but the quick work of the firefighters helped prevent the rapid spread of fire through into the adjoining unit.
Fire investigators say the misuse of an electrical appliance appears to have caused the fire. Damage is estimated at $250,000. It's likely the unit will be demolished. 12 new recruits have joined the ranks of the Tasmania Fire Service ahead of what's expected to be a dangerous bushfire season. Chosen from a field of 500 applicants, the 10 men and 2 women have completed 3 months of intensive training.
A range of firefighting skills, so in structural firefighting sense, bushfire sense, there's also road accident rescue schools, technical rescue schools, and there's the important training we've got to give our people on community education.
The firefighters will join brigades around the state. Ahead on Win News, Tony Abbott calls for solidarity among Liberals and war and peace as Barack Obama accepts his Nobel Prize.
Which of these families meant the most in your life?
I'm not a little kid.
20 to 1 Greatest TV Families, Sunday.
Get Christmas gifts at great prices at Thrifty Link Hardware, like a 10-piece screwdriver set for $19.95 or an Arlec white pointer lantern for $9.95. Nothing's too hard at Thrifty Link this Christmas.
Summer's about surf, sand and sensations. It's about staying cool and having a taste for good times. Yeah, I love summer. For more great summer moments, visit welovesummer.com.au.
Paul's buy one get one free sale, it's on again! Converse, Chucks, Vans, Etnies, Royals and Everlast from $79.99, buy one get one free! Reebok, Puma, New Balance, Brooks and Globes from $99.99, buy one get one free! Massive shipment of Rockport, all buy one get one free! Haviana's Diesel, DC's and Ed Hardy, all buy one get one free! Over 70,000 pieces of Billabong, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 bucks! Ed Hardy tees, 50 bucks, Nike tees, 2 for 30! And on electric Bond Zipper and Smith Sunnies, all 70 bucks! Don't pay full price, pay Paul's price!
Tasmania is a global jewel, a place of outstanding natural beauty. Imagine our ancient forests protected, our timber workers with secure jobs, and our community divisions healed. We can protect our forests and build a timber industry we are proud of. It's time to find our common ground. Authorised by Judy Tierney for Our Common Ground, Hobart.
The new Horizon roof tile from Monya. Sleek, with clean lines, in a stunning range of the latest colours to choose from. Give your home the sophistication and elegance of Horizon. Monya, living in style.
Monya roof tiles, available now from K&D Bricks and Blocks in Giblin Street, Newtown. It's where character counts.
Merry Christmas.
The best thing about Christmas
is the prezzies. The best thing about Christmas? Turkey. Lots of it. Rah! Merry Christmas!
Happy Christmas.
Have a wonderful Christmas.
It is going to be a great Christmas.
You're watching Win News. A challenge for the American president defending war today as he accepted the Nobel Prize for Peace. Barack Obama received the prize for urging greater cooperation in the world, but many were disturbed over his honour at a time of escalating war in Afghanistan.
Very few, particularly Barack Obama himself, would have ever imagined he'd be here. The guest of honour, the winner of the Nobel Prize for Peace, so early on in his presidency. He admits it was a surprise, but quickly realised this was an honour he couldn't say no to. So today, he accepted the award, previously given to Nelson Mandela and the Dalai Lama, very aware that there are many who think it's wrong.
In part, this is because I am at the beginning and not the end of my labors on the world stage. Compared to some of the giants of history who have received this prize, my accomplishments are slight.
While demonstrators showed their disgust on the streets of Oslo, the president spoke about his predicament, saying there are times when force is necessary and is morally justified in order to achieve peace. Only last week, he announced he'll send 30,000 more troops to fight in Afghanistan. And he says, even as a Peace Prize winner, he will continue to be a wartime leader, prepared to make the hard decisions.
I'm responsible for the deployment of thousands of young Americans to battle in a distant land. And some will kill. And some will be killed.
The Nobel Committee defends its decision still, explaining that Obama's leadership had been a call to action for everyone. But privately, Obama says he really wishes they'd waited a few years, although it did provide him with a platform to speak about what he hoped to achieve.
The goal has been to advance America's interests, to strengthen our economy at home, and to make ourselves a continuing force for good in the world.
Then, to finish the historic ceremony, thousands joined a torchlight procession in honour of the man who has confided to his friends, "I'm not worthy." Well, not yet anyway. Robert Penfold, 9 News.
New opposition leader Tony Abbott has ordered his shadow ministers to rein in their comments and play as a team. The directive comes after outspoken finance spokesman Senator Barnaby Joyce suggested the US could trigger an economic Armageddon by defaulting on its debts.
The price of a front bench seat. You can't always speak your mind, which is exactly what new finance spokesman Barnaby Joyce is famous for.
I'm now part of Shadow Cabinet, so I'm restricted somewhat in what I can say.
Not that it's stopped him yet. The Senator says Australia should plan for the economic Armageddon that would follow a US default on its debts. He even warns Australian states, especially his own, are fast losing any capacity to dig themselves out of the red.
Queensland is completely out of control.
This is gross economic irresponsibility, policy on the run, shooting from the lip.
The government claims the Joyce debt comments and another suggestion that Australia ban Chinese state investment in our resources are a threat to confidence.
The statements from Mr Joyce are erratic, they're volatile and they're damaging.
And they were clearly on Tony Abbott's mind as he led the first meeting of his new shadow ministry this morning. He had a message for all the talkers on his front bench.
Shadow ministry and shadow cabinet solidarity starts now. That is, it started at 10 o'clock this morning, and everyone understands that they've got to support the team position.
In fact, I think when I get home to my wife, she'll ask me certain questions and I'll have to say, washing the dishes is a discussion of Shadow Cabinet and I can't do it.
Tim Lester, 9 News.
Australia's first hybrid car has come off the assembly line. Kevin Rudd test drove the Toyota Camry, which will go on sale in February. The sedan has both petrol and electric engines and is being called our most fuel-efficient, locally built car. Sport now, and a thriller at Bell Reeve, Cole.
Certainly is, John. The Tigers are within reach of victory, and all the action from the Australian PGA Championship at Coolum.
One of the greatest tales ever told.
We're a castaway stranded on this island, Mr. Crusoe.
Crusoe, 7:30 Saturday on Win.
Summer's about surf, sand and sensations. It's about staying cool and having a taste for good times. Yeah, I love summer. For more great summer moments, visit welovesummer.com.au.
At Officeworks, give more with our lowest prices. Pico portable iPod speaker, a gift everyone will love, only $19.88. These Philosophy A6 Canvas notebooks, just $7.99 each. This great study desk, an amazing $97. And this TomTom One Start GPS, great gift for a low $178. And if you find an identical stock item at a lower price, we'll beat it by 5%. Taking care of business. Officeworks, lowest prices every day.
With the flexibility of Magic Seats, the Honda Jazz fits anything you can imagine.
Greyhound racing has come a long way over the years.
Catch all the action trackside. But it's not all about the racing. Have you been to the Greyhounds lately?
Take a walk in Tasmania's ancient forests. These forests store vast amounts of carbon, so protecting them helps fight climate change. Take your family to the Walk Against Warming. Upper Florentine Valley, Saturday 12th of December, 12 noon. Authorised by Vicar Bailey, the Wilderness Society, Hobart.
Where do you go for your fresh produce? Including a huge range that's locally sourced and organic. Only 15 minutes from Hobart's CBD is Meredith's Orchard. Channel Highway, Margate.
Be part of history when the lights are officially turned on for the Ford Ranger Cup Day-Nighter as the PKF Tasmanian Tigers take on Western Australia at Bell Reeve Oval. Sunday the 13th of December at 2:15. Tickets at the gate.
We hope you enjoy the magic of Christmas.
The Sheffield Shield match between Tasmania and Western Australia is going down to the wire. 152 from opener Ed Cowan, helping the Tigers to within sight of the target of 348 runs off 85 overs to win.
After conceding first innings points in their hunt for outright victory, Tasmania needed early wickets, but they didn't come. Adam Voges and Sean Marsh pushing WA's lead past 300 as their partnership passed 150. Soon after, Faulkner made the breakthrough. Marsh bowled for 70. Mitchell Marsh kept the scoreboard moving before Faulkner struck again, sending him back to the sheds for 12. The declaration came soon after. Western Australia setting Tasmania 348 to win from 85 overs. The Tigers made a slow start to the chase as Cowan and Wells picked off the loose deliveries. Tassie going to lunch without loss, but still needing 304 to win. Wells picked up the pace in the second session. Nofke belted for 3 consecutive fours. The opener was sent on his way soon after, bowled by Hill for 43. First innings century maker Alex Doolan hit a quick-fire 24 before Dory struck right on tee. After the break, Ed Cowan brought up his ton. Suddenly, the Tigers looked in the hunt, as in-form skipper George Bailey went after the Warriors' attack, scoring at almost a run a ball. Cowan passed 150 and the match was set to go down to the wire. Andrew McCarthy, Win News.
Some of Australia's top sports stars will earn their sea legs in this year's Sydney to Hobart, tackling the world's toughest yacht race. They've been signed on as the crew of maxi yacht Loyal to raise $500,000 for charity.
This is Langman's crew learning the ropes at sea, and for many it's the first time they've been out of Sydney Heads. There's a mixture of Kiwis and Aussies on board, and overnight qualifying is all part of getting them to the line.
How was your night there, Phil?
Magnificent night. Terrific night's sleep I was having until some friggin' Kiwi bloke came along and decided that he wanted to wake us up.
Former and current sports stars help make up Langman's crew. Kearns, Grant Hackett, Phil Waugh and Denny Green are all having a go.
No doubt there's a risk in a lot of pursuits that we take on. And it's that risk in some respects that draws men and women to this great event.
Langman is trying to raise money for struggling charities, and the sporting stars are on board to help promote that cause. And there's also some unfinished business. Langman's last 2 races were in a timber boat more than 70 years old, while Loyal is a super maxi, successful all over the world, and the skipper wants to get to Hobart first.
Yeah, it's an Australian thing to have a go.
Loyal is the former Maximus that had no luck in 2 previous Sydney to Hobart attempts. But since the disasters of 06 and 07, she's had much more than a name change.
I think she's what you always want in your cricket team, this boat. She looks to me to be an all-rounder.
Clinton Fletcher, 9 News.
The world's best surfers have begun fighting it out at Hawaii's pipeline, which is finally underway. While Australia's main title contenders Mick Fanning and Joel Parkinson didn't compete, there was plenty of action on the world's most famous wave.
Few surfers work this wave better than Andy Irons. Time and time again today, the 4-time pipeline master pulled into a barrel and shot out and eased through the first round. His younger brother Bruce, also a champion here, did the same.
It's weird. It's it's kind of all over the place. Hard to find a good one.
How you feeling?
Tired. I got worked. In, out, in, out, in, out.
Thousands of people watched today's first and second rounds, including a relaxed world #1 Mick Fanning.
Because Fanning and Parkinson are among the highest ranked surfers, they automatically qualified for the 3rd round, so they didn't compete today. However, if the conditions are like this tomorrow, they will be out in the water and doing battle.
Philip McDonald is one of 8 Australians through to the 3rd round.
It's not a big pipe, but it's really fun pipe, and it's good to get out there with not a big crowd and just some really great barrels to be had.
Peter Stefanovic, 9 News, Pipeline, Hawaii.
The Australian Mountain Bike Series gets underway in Tasmania this weekend. Australian cross-country mountain bike champion Launceston's Rowena Fry will have a home ground advantage. She says a recent funding cut to the high-performance mountain bike program has fuelled her motivation.
It's really devastating for our sport. Like I'm planning on going to the London Olympics and hopefully the 2016 Olympics too, and it's going to be a bit of a hard road.
Newcastle's Rick Boyer came 3rd last year in the downhill category. Now he's eyeing off top spot.
That's my plan for the series. We've got a lot of races coming up over the summer, but I'm looking at moving up the ranks.
Round 1 of the series starts at the Glenorchy Mountain Bike Park tomorrow morning. Australia's top-ranked golfer Jeff Ogilvy has surged into contention at the Australian PGA during the 2nd round at Coolum. The defending champion is 1 shot behind unheralded leader Matthew Griffin. Stuart Appleby is also right in the mix.
Stripping down to take a dip is all part of resort life, but Robert Allenby would have preferred to wait until after his round to get wet.
Actually, there was more whistles from guys than there were girls.
Hyatt Coolum's water hazards claiming plenty of victims during the 2nd round.
Yeah, and that's easily going to be in the middle of the lake.
Australian Open runner-up Stuart Appleby kept dry and climbed the leaderboard.
And nearly his last shot of the day.
He was handed a share of top spot when surprise overnight leader Han Min Kyu went bush at 15.
Oh boy.
They were all soon eclipsed by Matthew Griffin. In his first full year as a professional, he fired a 3 under par 68 to reach the clubhouse at 7 under par. Ogilvy made his move late in the round and is perfectly poised heading into the weekend.
Oh, straight at it for Jeff Ogilvy.
Chris Hodgkinson, 9 News.
For that matter.
And that's tonight's sport, John.
Thanks, Cole. We'll have a look at the weather after the break.
Great Aussie drama, Rescue Special Ops, Thursday on Bulletin.
To me, summer's about friends. It's about sharing a laugh over late night Maccas. Yeah, I love summer.
Tasmania is a global jewel, a place of outstanding natural beauty. Imagine our ancient forests protected, our timber workers with secure jobs, and our community divisions healed. We can protect our forests and build a timber industry we are proud of. It's time to find our common ground. Authorised by Judy Tierney for Our Common Ground, Hobart.
Where do you go for your fresh produce, including a huge range that's locally sourced and organic? Only 15 minutes from Hobart's CBD is Meredith's Orchard, Channel Highway, Margate.
G'day, Jack the dog. Have you seen the bargains at the Animal Tucker Box? Look at these. Small puppy and rabbit pens, only $49.95. Save $20. Large puppy pens, red hot, $139. Save $30. Medium 2-story rabbit hutch, $99. Save $40. Large 2-story rabbit hutch, $129. Save $44. And large rectangular dog kennels, wow, $149. Save a huge $76. They'll be comfy in those. All the top dogs get the best bargains at the Animal Tucker Box.
What Christmas means to me is the chance to get together with friends and family and enjoy the good times.
Merry Christmas from Win Television.
Scattered showers persisted about the west, south and Bass Strait. Otherwise today was fine, though temperatures were below average. Strahan reported 16 degrees, 17 in both Burnie and Devonport. Launceston peaked at 19. It was 18 in St Helens and further down the east coast, 20 in Swansea. Hobart reached 19 after 9 degrees overnight. A band of middle-level cloud to our west is associated with an approaching warm front. Yesterday's cold front can be seen to the east, spiralling around a low over the Tasman. Today's chart shows the warm front just west of the state, while a strengthening high-pressure system lies west of the Bight. Southwesterly swells tomorrow to 4 metres in the west and south, confused to 1 metre in the east, and westerly to 1.5 metres in the north. A gale warning is current for southern coastal waters between Tasman Island and Low Rocky Point, and has been issued for northern waters between Sandy Cape and St Helens Point. A strong wind warning is current for all remaining coastal waters, and there's a small craft wind alert for the southwest and central plateau lakes. Showers tomorrow mainly about the west, south and Bass Strait. Mainly fine in Hobart, temperatures between 11 and 19. A couple of degrees warmer on the east coast, and mainly fine, 21 expected in Swansea and 22 in St Helens. A mainly fine day for Launceston, looking to 21 after 11 degrees overnight. A shower or two in the northwest, 19 in both Devonport and Burnie. Showers in Strahan, hoping to reach 16. Interstate, a few showers in Melbourne, Brisbane and Darwin, fine in the other capitals. Looking ahead, fine in the northwest on Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. And the same for Launceston with top temperatures around 20 or 22 degrees. In Hobart, a few showers easing on Sunday, Monday and Tuesday should be fine. And that's Win News for this Friday. I'm John Remus. Have a great weekend.